What's up, my friend? Welcome back to another video, and today we're taking a look at the Harrington Bassoon, from Musical Sampling, and this is their final core woodwind of the lineup. Very, very cool to see Aaron sort of focus on the core woodwind section of the orchestra, have individual libraries for it, and really focus on getting sort of really smooth legato and emotional performances from them as well, which is right up my alley, right? And I think for 49 bucks intro price and regularly $80, it's a pretty good solid deal for, basically your entire when lined up if you want those separate libraries. And I'm curious to see if Aaron will offer a bundle in the future covering all of these core woodwinds. Pretty cool to see, and how that might play into the pricing, of course. Just keep in mind that with these libraries, you need the full version of Kontakt. The free Kontakt player is not supported. This library is about 1.7 gigabytes, so quite compact, but you still get really, really nice performances in there. And then this little section tells you all about the different sort of patches. So you have the workhorse patch, which is sort of the all-rounder with the mezzo forte dynamic, while emotional is a more lyrical approach, and mezzo piano, so a softer performance approach with more lyrical tendencies. And then you also have the Mercado legato patch, also the Pesante patch as well. But basically, the Mercado allows you to have a stronger accent or a stronger attack at the beginning of the notes, depending on your velocity. So if we take a look down here, it tells us a bit more how to activate those. So for the Mercado legato, velocities 1 to 30 will trigger a soft attack, 31 to 114 a faster attack, and then 115 to 127 is the Mercado articulation. And then, as we'll see in a second, there's also the Mercado legato pesante patch, which prioritizes the Mercado sustain itself. So between 31 to 127, you get that Mercado articulation there. And then you also get a breaths patch for added realism. And they also tell us a bit about the bassoonist here, Cody Harrington. So with that being said, let's kind of jump into the library. As always, you can see here on the left side, the folder structure and the patches included are very, very simple. We start with the emotional patches, legato, Mercado legato, and the pesante, then the workhorse patches, and then the Mercados by themselves, and then the breaths as well. So let's start with just the emotional legato, and then we'll move on to the Mercado samples. Cool. I wonder if there's actually retongued, like same note repetitions. Let me see, actually. Okay, retongued. Okay, I will ask Aaron about that, actually, because when I was pressing the sustain pedal, usually in a lot of woodwind libraries, when you press a sustain pedal, the sustain will hold, and then if you play that same note again, for example, in CSW, then you get a retongued articulation of that same note. I don't seem to be able to do that here. So I will ask Aaron about that just to double check, but I'm assuming that there are no same note repeated samples, or if there are, maybe they have to be triggered within a very short time of you releasing the previous note. All right, let's go over the emotional Mercado legato here. So again, I'm going to vary my velocities here just to see if I can get those harder attacks. All right, so with the Mercado, basically, the samples are actually short. Like if you play really hard, the note will come in nice and heavy, and then after like a second or two, the note will actually die out by itself. So. However, if you start playing a melody right after you play the Mercado note, like you play really hard, then the marcato note will automatically legato transition to the next note you're playing. Right, so of course you can create your phrases just by doing that. Really, really cool if you need that stronger attack. All right, and again, the pesante patch, very, very similar to the marcato legato patch, but basically it's, I think, taking away the faster attack option and just putting in the marcato articulation above 30. There we go. All right, let's have a listen to the workhorse legato here. Beautiful. All right, let's check out the marcato legato here. Okay, let's skip the pesante for now, and then let's hear the marcatos just on their own a little bit. Yeah, great for polyphonic playing because all the marcatos are basically the same length, so they're very, very tight with each other, which is cool. All right, and finally, let's hear the breaths, short, medium, and long. So the shorter ones are at the very bottom, I believe. Cool. Those are just a few examples there. I do wish that the fade in or like the fade outs of the samples, the breaths, were a little bit more tapered off instead of just a hard cutoff, because maybe in an exposed mix, you might be able to hear, you know, that breath cut off and then followed by the note. If the mix is really, really exposed, or if you don't do it properly, then you might get a bit of that abrupt feeling when you start a phrase with that breath there. So just be careful, make sure you're mixing properly, and make sure the breath isn't too loud in the mix when you're starting a phrase, which typically shouldn't be a problem, because normally when players breathe, they don't really want you to hear them breathe very much. It's more about the music itself, right? So, but just keep that in mind. All right, so a beautiful library. Thanks again, Aaron, for sharing this library. And of course, if you want to check this out, the link's down below in the description. And also, if you want to check out my full composing process, how I go from the initial idea all the way to the polished final master, and you want to check out my personal workflow for my orchestral music, then I want to give you access to my free workshop called The Complete Composer's Framework. It's absolutely free. It's down below as well in the description. And I literally go through step by step how I produce music from start to finish. From the first initial idea, how I start to produce it, arrange it, orchestrate it, mix and master it. I take you through the entire journey. So if there's any parts of your composing process you want to sort of polish up, or you just want to see what I do on a day-to-day basis, then I'd love to give that to you absolutely free as a gift for watching this video today. Really appreciate you checking this out. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, have a great one.